These are amazing basketball sneakers, but boy everyone, MARKCHES here. Here is my performance review of the GT Hustle Tree from the Greater Than series, and wow, it's been the third version. Of course, the first version of this one wasn't named Hustle, it was actually Run. It's, if you want to remember it, it's usually on the feet of Victor Wembanyama, and I think this is what he's wearing right now. I'm gonna check the Paris Olympics if he's wearing the Hustle Tree, but the Hustle Tree is an amazing basketball sneaker like in my intro, but there is some conditions to it that we will be talking about in a bit. But let's talk about first, of course, is the upper of the Hustle Tree, which is one thing or one aspect of the sneakers that I was kind of impressed with, because I thought it would be flimsy, a lot flimsier than I thought it would be. But amazingly, when I was doing lateral cuts on this one, it was holding up, and the Flyknit of this one is really ultra comfy around your foot. But I thought it wouldn't be as strong or sturdy as it looks. But if you can see when I'm pulling it, there's no stretch to it. And there's another, like, it's a thicker version or a closer knit when it goes down to this collar. So on the upper part of the knit, it's a lot thinner. There's a lot of ventilation in the sneaker, so no problem in terms of ventilation on the Hustle Tree. But if you go down here, they change it up because of course you need that extra lateral support on the material, and the swoosh also is embroidered to the knit, which gives you extra structure to the lateral part. You can see on the medial side it also has a swoosh, but it is just printed on this side, which because you don't need that much structure on that part of the sneaker. And you can see on top part, you can see there's some more stitching here for extra durability of the sneaker, that it won't stretch that much. You can also see it on the back part or the last lace of the sneaker, that there's extra like a fly wire that is incorporated with the upper. And surprisingly, it was good. Of course, not as good as the ones if you're playing with a mesh or a leather especially, but for a Flyknit upper, it performs really well in terms of lateral support, in my opinion. And the lacing system is under the fabric or the Flyknit. It's also like a fast lacing system. It's very easy to adjust, very easy to open. And as for the tongue is very well padded from the tip to the outermost part of the tongue. This is a lot thicker compared to the innermost, but there's perforation too for extra ventilation of the sneaker. And when you're wearing it, it's very comfortable. There's no discomfort on the upper part of your foot whatsoever. And it is tied down a bit. Sorry, it's not tied down to the shoe, but it doesn't move that much. And of course, on the heel part of the sneaker, it has enough padding here, or a lot of padding, especially around on the back part most of the sneaker. And there's no heel slippage. Very nice fit, very comfortable around your ankles and Achilles pillows. So no problems there whatsoever. And it's a mid cut. I like it because it gives you extra support to your ankle, for those especially who likes extra ankle support, given that the cushion of this one is stacked a little bit higher compared to other basketball sneakers. And so far so good for the upper of the sneaker. Now let's talk about another highlight of the sneaker, which is seldom on basketball sneakers, which is the insole. And the insole of this one, let me pull it out. It has that sticky stuff on the bottom part, but this insole is actually a Zoom X insole, and it's amazing. Step-in comfort on the sneaker for this one feels very nice, very plush, and it gives a little bounce to it too. And for the cushion of this one, it's a 4-foot Zoom double stack Zoom. Let me rephrase that. It's a 4-foot double stack Zoom, and it has a U shape on one part, and there's pods on the top part of that U shape, and it feels good. You can see it here. It's a U shape, and man, if you're looking for bounciness, I think the last time I felt this one was on the BB series, BB Next, Zoom BB, yeah, there. But it was kind of up there. It's not the lowest to the ground basketball sneaker similar to this one, but for this one, kind of seems a bit lower and more stable compared to that. So take that as a grain of salt. So this one, man, it's ultra bouncy in the 4-foot. I like the bounciness of this one, and this one is a carrier foam, and of course this is just Phylon, I think, and the Zoom X is, I think, is just this, because when I'm pressing down the foam, it feels like it's the same compound that is used on the outer part. But this insole, man, the Zoom X insole, gives an amazing step in comfort to the sneaker. Very, very good step in comfort. One of the best step in comfort that I felt for the longest time. And this is also what I'm saying, that this is an amazing basketball sneaker, but the condition is, it depends on your style of play. I would recommend this sneaker to a more sturdy or a bigger player that's not too agile, or it's on the heavier side. They need a lot of bounce and impact protection, because the impact protection too of the sneaker is amazing. They're not the shiftiest player, and stocky players, this will be ideal, because I think the foam is not too low to the ground, like I said, but the step in, I mean, your knees will thank you for this. And I actually use this when on my days off, if I do back-to-back games, and on the second game it will be just a run or a practice. So right now we do a lot of practice in my other league that's really serious, and during those practice, when I want to rest my knees a bit, I wear the GT Hustles 3 to help rest my knees. And now let's go to the traction of this one. This has a translucent outsole, and it has a spiral herringbone traction, nothing too fancy. And there's a cutout here. I think it's because so when you're striking your 4-foot, it's not actually bending in the Zoom unit, so there's a space for it to bend the outsole, but it's kind of stiff right now still, because of the, I think because of the Zoom units there. And heel to toe transition, quite nice. It has a very nice curve in the 4-foot, and the heel, there's enough also curvature here, and heel to toe transition was quite nice. And given that, like I said, it's quite up there in terms of cushion, it's not too unstable. I like the feel of it, and it's ultra bouncy, which I really love. I wish that it will be cut lower, since it has a Zoom X insole in it. Maybe on the Hustle 4 they can do that, because on the Hustle 2 it's a big change in terms of the design language of the Hustle 3, because the Hustle 2 was one of the lowest sneakers that I've tried in the Greater Than series compared to the GT Cut 1, because the GT Cut 2 was kind of thicker compared to the Hustle 2. So look how far they jump off in terms of the design language on the Hustle 2 to the Hustle 3s. So that's one thing, or it's a good and a bad thing on the Hustles 3. And going back to the traction on this one was really good too. Not the top tier, but it was the traction was very consistent. Dust pickup, not much dust pickup on this one, and it was gripping really nicely on the floor. Outdoor use, you can, but it's an expensive sneaker. It's around $195 US on this one, and the treads are deep, but the rubber pattern is not, or the rubber material is not that hard, so it's kind of flimsy, so that's why it's very good in terms of gripping indoors. But outdoor use, if you want, you can, but if it's okay for you to burn this 10,000 peso shoe, go. I won't hold you back. I think it will be an amazing outdoor sneaker because of the cushion, because of the ventilation of the upper. So it really depends on you. As for the weight, size 11 US, it's light for this kind of sneaker that has a maximalist cushioning setup. It's just 400 grams. So it's on the lightest side of basketball sneakers. There's a lot of low-cut sneakers that are heavier than this. So really nice. There's even a rubber compound on the outsole. Very light. I think it's because of the upper of the sneaker, because it's Flyknit. It's ultra light, and wow. So this is a good basketball sneaker depending on your play style. Sadly to say, I wouldn't recommend this for shifty players or players that likes to play low to the ground. You will surely have a hard time playing with them because the cushion is not too close to the ground. So sizing wise, for regular footers and narrow footers, go true to size, and wide footers go half a size up. So this has been my performance review of the GT Hustle 3. Let me know what you think about these guys. So thank you again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.